and share about hitting Success Club consistently. You're coming up on like 3 years, Cassie, right? Like, have you hit 3 years yet? Sorry, or you can put it in the chat.
July.
Okay, so crazy that, and she has hit Success Club every month, but like 1 month. Like that is like 34 consecutive months in Success Club. I haven't even done that. Like a lot of coaches have not done that. And here's the thing, like we hold Success Club up as a non-negotiable for those of you who are working this business, because if you are not bringing new people in every month, you'll hit a wall. You're going to get stuck. We know that people come and they go, and this isn't for them. That's why you constantly need to be bringing some new people on every month, not 100, not 10, at least 3. And it is a learned skill to hit Success Club. A lot of us do not come into coaching and start hitting it right off the bat. I know for myself, I didn't. And I know for many of coaches that I see in here tonight, you don't. You have to learn, okay, how many people do I need to be talking to? How many people do I need to be connecting with in a day? What kind of content do I need to be putting out so that I'm engaging with people? Are you only talking about workouts and Beachbody, or are you giving them other content and value and showing them that like, oh, I'm going to sign up with her because she's giving me value in other areas of life too, not just workouts and health and fitness. So I asked Cassie, clearly she knows what she's doing. She's got it down. She just hit 3-star diamond. She's teaching her coaches to do the same. So I just wanted her to come on and just share like what has been working for her. How has she done this consistently month after month, and just seen the growth that she has seen. It is seriously amazing. And I'm going to stop talking and you can take it away, Cassie.
Awesome. Thanks, Brooke. Okay. So I first want to just start with just a little bit of my story. Guys, I have like a page and a half of notes. So I will try to make this worth your time, not drag this on for a long time, but I want to start with a little bit of my story, just so you know how this all started. So my story started 6 weeks postpartum with Jack. So he's my second. I went in for my 6-week checkup. My OB was like, here, you need Zoloft. Here's this prescription, go fill this. And at that time I was like, okay, sweet. Like I'm going to go fill this up. And, you know, this will help all the stuff that you guys, I mean, if you have had kids, you know, like it's, you know, from 1 to 2 is really rough. So we'll leave it at that. But I went to fill it, decided not to, because, you know, I was always in sports in high school. I've always tried to stay active. That really stopped in college in like the first years of our marriage. But I had a good kind of mindset around like the importance of nutrition and exercise. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to go home and try it and, you know, try to get my health and all that stuff back on track. And it wasn't until about 5 months postpartum that I joined Beachbody. During those, you know, 4.5 months, I was, you know, trying Pinterest workouts, trying YouTube, and, you know, they're very inconsistent. Like Pinterest workouts are awesome because you feel like you accomplished so much, because it's like, here's your Monday workout and it's like takes you 5 minutes. And you're like, yes, I did it. But obviously, you know, that's not enough. And so I'd seen my coach at the time, which wasn't Brooke at the time, posting on social media. And so I had reached out and she told me it was Beachbody. I kind of was hesitant for a little while, about another month, and then just decided, I was one of those like great coaches that I was like, just sign me up. Like, I think I need this. Let's go. She never invited me. I was the one that reached out to her, but I'm going to talk about like how that's usually not the case. But so I'd reached out to her. She signed me up. About a weekend, I didn't sign up as a coach right away. I signed up as a challenger. She signed me up. And a week later into the whole challenge group, I was like, this is so cool. Not only is it structured fitness and nutrition, I was never doing personal development. I had community. Like I have different pods of community. I think I've talked with you about this before, but like I've got, you know, my high school friends, my college friends, my old work friends. Like I have these different pods, but like I never had a group of women that were really trying to like better their physical, emotional, mental health, spiritual health, all that stuff. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, if I need this, who else needs this? And so I signed up to be a coach a week later, and I didn't get into coaching for the income or to run a business. It just kind of trickled into that because I was so happy and excited and loved what I was doing. So people on the other end saw that, and they, like I said, at the beginning, I wasn't inviting people. I wasn't reaching out to people right from the get-go, but they saw that my health was on fire. I was loving what I was doing. And, I started with some friends and family, just telling them about it. And that's kind of how my whole coaching journey started, with just loving what I was doing. So if you guys don't love what you are doing right now, whether it's your workout, your reading, whatever you're doing with your nutrition, stop what you're doing or try to tweak it a little bit. Try to make it something that you just love, because if you don't love it, like you can only fake things for so long. You can only tell people like these workouts are great, this nutrition's great, these books are great. You can only fake that for so long before you start to burn out. You have to really love this and what you are doing to be able to help people with what they want to accomplish. So that is kind of my journey and how it started. So some things that I want you guys to take away, I've got some bullet points here. So if you want to get a pen and paper, like I said, I'll try to talk slow, but I want to make sure we wrap this up in time. So the first thing, I want you guys with your social media to make sure your feed is bright and welcoming. And people have a very short attention span. When they come to your feed and see not your stories, your actual feed, they see 6 to 9 photos. If those photos are dark and dingy and there's a bunch of crap in the background, like for me personally, I get turned off by that. I like the very clean and crisp and bright and the eye-catching things to grab my attention. So I want to make sure you guys know that people, I don't want you guys to think like this is attractive marketing, but it is in a way. Like you're not like selling yourself. Like they say like sex sells. It's kind of, like I don't want you guys to take that the wrong way, but to have an attractive photo and like a bright photo and an eye-catching photo, like that sells and people want to stay versus something that is just, like I said, dark and dingy. And there are presets out there, you guys. There are, or not, presets that are like $15 that all you have to do is click a button and it like brightens up your photo. And, that is one step in the right direction of like getting your feed very eye-catching and attractive so people want to stay. And then like eventually they, will go up into your stories, and that's where they get to see you and your personality and all that fun stuff. But once you guys do the feeds and the stories, and that is a part of our business activity tracker, is to be showing up in your stories and your feed throughout the day. But don't do that work there if you're not going to do the back work. Like the front work of like the fun photos and the fun stories and the fun reels is all great, and you need that. That's step 1, but step 2 is the back work. And so you guys need to be making sure you are taking whatever is happening with your stories and your feed into people's inboxes and coming back. So don't do the front work if you're not going to do the back work. This whole front work is pointless if you don't do that stuff, the connecting, inviting, all that stuff. So let's get into the connecting and inviting and networking. So some of you I know are new. Let me scroll through here real quick to see who's on. Some of you I know have been in this business for a while. So those of you that have been in this business for a while, I'm sure you have reached out to your warm market. Now, if you haven't, that is where you should start. People that already know, like, and trust you. You start at your warm market. That kind of is like the doorway to, kind of reaching out to like all these people you don't know and networking with them. But start there. Like these people already know you, and don't overcomplicate that conversation. Like you tell your, your best friend about this awesome song you just heard, or this restaurant that you went to, or these leggings that you just love. Think about it that way. Just, like I said, if you're newer, just reach out to your closest friends and family and just be like, hey, I'm just doing this thing and I love it. And, you know, I would love if you did it with me. I think you'd have so much fun. Like, take the pressure off of that, but always start with your warm market. But if you have gone through that and you have gone through your warm market, what they say is like, get into your cold market. And this is how I network and add to my feed and find new people and friends. Is the first one is friends of friends, which is awesome because like you have somebody in common. So when they go to add you back, they go, oh, she knows this person. That's cool. So she must be somebody I know. But I don't like that piece as much as finding actual people through hashtags. Because friends of friends, you might not have a lot or anything in common, whereas those hashtags come in handy so much. But with those hashtags, you guys have to get very specific. Everyone hashtags boy mom, dog mom, stay-at-home mom. Those hashtags have so many people that follow them or use them that I'm sure when you like scroll on them and start clicking on the people that through those hashtags, you're like, oh, they're a Beachbody coach. Oh, geez, these are Beachbody coaches too. And you kind of go, there's nobody left. Who's out there? You have to get very specific in who you are trying to find and trying to find those specific people. So I just have, within the last like couple of months, have switched mine to really close local like coffee shops or restaurants. And then like with the stage of life and how crazy like building and real estate and all that stuff has been lately, I've been like finding other moms through that like hashtag. I think it was like builder's wife or construction wife or something like that. Just taking it a step further and really narrowing it down on like the people that are going through exactly what you were going through, because the market's crazy right now. I know some of you have been like trying to find a home, selling your home. It's insane. And so like, I don't even like, or I get into those people's inboxes right away. And I'm like, hey, like I saw that your husband builds too. Like, how are you guys doing with the inflation and the crazy cost of building materials and stuff? And so it's just something, narrow it down to like people that are really in that like stage of life that you are in, because that just makes, you know, all the rest of it just so much easier because you have something in common. Like everybody needs this. My mom's friends need this. My dad's friends need this, but it's really easy to like hit the ground running and finding several people when you really connect with them and are going through the same stage of life as they are. So with connecting and networking, guys, I add anywhere from 20 to 30 people to my feed every single day, because not all those 20 to 30 people follow me back. Maybe 5, maybe 10, sometimes less. But that just keeps bringing people in. If you aren't adding, they aren't coming and seeing your stuff. So like so then you're not going to find those new people. You have to just be adding. Like maybe at some point you'll filter through, and those 30 people that you added yesterday, you're like, well, maybe not that one, and filter them out. But just constantly be adding and friend requesting and following, like, so those people come to you. But remember, when they come to you, give them something to want to stick around, right? Like Brooke was saying, like adding value to your feed other than like health and fitness. I give this example all the time. I thought it was the silliest thing of like when I washed ball caps in the dishwasher, because I had just learned that from my mom, and people were like, whoa, like I didn't ever know how to wash a baseball cap because I can't throw it in the actual washing machine because it'll wreck. And, you know, they would just buy new ones. But yeah, just so that just like opened up the doorway to all these other like random conversations. So just adding that whatever off the wall random stuff that, you know, like people look at you as like valuable, like that they can come to you and trust you. So that was the connecting and networking. Like how I do that is I just go out, simple hashtags, very specific, and add and add and add and add, but making sure they have something to come to on my feed. So, okay, so hold on, I can't read my handwriting sometimes. Okay, got it. So this business, when you are, you know, finding or connecting with all of these people, they are not buying. I mean, there is a transaction, but I want you guys to remember that people join you for you. There are so many, like I was saying, the Pinterest workouts, the YouTube, there's gyms, there's the sweat app, there's like the Carrie Underwood app, there's all these other things that they could join. But when they join you, it's because they want to join you. They want what like you have. They want to be a part of your life. They want, you know, they're not buying the product. They're almost, this sounds kind of icky, but they're buying you. They want to be a part of like what you are doing. So again, like making sure you give them, I feel like I'm just trying to drive this point home, give them something to stick around, be talking on your stories, be posting, be doing those things, get them to stay around and connect with them. Okay, I feel like I got kind of off track there, but also guys, and this is another bullet point, is always stay in phase 1, and that is inviting. I will never not invite. I post, we were just talking about this last weekend. I do, you know, those stories throughout the day of like, click on this poll or scroll this button or answer this question. I mean, I shouldn't even say hardly, but like, not a lot of the times people actually click on polls. People are scared to like click on those polls. Like sometimes you get that, but just remember, like, even if people don't click on your stuff and like your polls, like if you still have to be doing those things. You still have to be showing them that, you know, you have value to give them, and that you inviting them is way better than waiting for them to come to you. You have to go get your people. People are too scared to come to you. I've had maybe in my 3 years, 5 people reach out to me and go, hey, I want what you have, give me that. It doesn't happen. It's not realistic. It's not the name of the game. We have to take action to make things happen. We have to be the ones in the driver's seat reaching out and talking to people. So always stay in phase 1. Like I said, I've been doing the same thing since day 1 that I'm doing today. Like, sure, social media has changed and stuff like that has changed, but those basic foundational things of inviting and connecting, I'm still doing the same as I was then as I am now. So with the inviting, you guys, I feel like this is talked about a lot, is how long do you connect before you invite, right? I know you guys have all thought about like, how long do I talk to this person for before I send them an invite? Or do I invite them first? Or do I, like, there's so much like confusion and like fluster behind like, how do I do this? Like, how many days, how many conversations, what do I say? Stop overthinking that. Stop overcomplicating that. I do that both ways. Sometimes I invite first, sometimes I connect first. I, of course, do not invite somebody unless they are following me, liking my stuff, or commenting on my post or whatever. But that is where, guys, just think of people as like a normal human being, like the way you would talk to them as a normal person. Like sometimes I like to get in people's inboxes right away and say, hey, thanks so much for liking my post. You know, this is what I have coming up, X, Y, and Z. Would you like more information? And other times I really, really connect with them and talk about all things life, and then eventually invite them. Don't overthink that. Just kind of go with what feels good. If it feels icky, then don't do it. But stop like not doing the things because you're afraid that, you know, well, maybe I haven't connected with them enough before I send them an invite. Just stop. Just do what feels great and roll with it. Like I've kind of gone back and forth on what I tell my team, because there are times where I'm like, connecting first just doesn't feel right, because I have people all the time popping into my inbox and going, hey, like, I'm so glad you followed me back. It's so great to connect with you. And here's a lot about me, and like giving me their whole life story. And I'm like, what do you want? Like, I already know. I'm like, you want something. Like, I don't connect that way. I don't like reach out to somebody and say, thank you for following me. Here's my whole life story. What do you do? Like, I just connect a little bit with what's going on their feed or through their stories, and connect that way. And other times I just right off the bat, I'm like, hey, you want to do this? Both have worked. It just depends on the season and the person and, you know, how much time I personally want to spend on connecting before I invite. So stop. Like I wrote stop in a big circle. Just stop overcomplicating that. Just do it. So that is that one. When you get through, how am I doing with time? Am I talking way too fast, you guys? Okay. So when you are connecting and talking through Facebook or Instagram or however you're connecting with people, always end whatever you're saying with a question, because that keeps the conversation going. Don't just end of like they tell you something, you're like, oh, that's so cool. Like, don't stop there. Like, figure out, get creative on what you're going to ask them next, because that's where you just connect even more and keep that conversation alive. And it doesn't die. It dies eventually, but not right away. Just keep that conversation going by always, always, always ending with a question. And honestly, you guys, people love to talk about themselves. So keep just like asking them about anything. Like people like to talk about themselves, and that's normal and that's okay. But just ask them, just keep asking them about themselves, keep getting them to talk about themselves, because maybe in that conversation, they might throw a pain point at you that you can, you know, not take advantage of or leverage, but that you might have a solution in your toolbox to like help them with that problem. Like maybe you haven't talked about health and fitness at all, but that might be something that they do eventually bring up. And then, you know, however long down the road, you do have this thing that you're like, hey, like, I know we've had so much fun connecting, but I actually like was thinking about this, and I know you had mentioned this, and you know, I've got this. But just get people to talk about themselves. They love it. People love it. I love to talk about myself. I love talking about my kids, my home life. I just love it. So know that people like to do that. So you've sent some invites, you've done some connecting. But essentially when you send an invite, guys, I was trying to like do math today on like my invite to somebody responding ratio of like how many invites I send to like how many people respond back right away. And it's like 87% of the time people don't respond right away to my invite. So that is, there's so many trainings out there of fortune in the follow-up. And this is so key. This is where I get so many of my people to commit and join me, is because I follow up with them. Because you have to understand, like, guys, I know you guys get distracted as easily as I do, as easily as everybody else does, that you see something else happens and you completely forget what you were even doing and it gets lost. And so I have always said this follow-up, and I just leave it super simple. But following up, again, I don't have any time frame on this. There's no like, you wait 4 days and then do it. Just do it. But following up, I leave it simple like this. I say, I am so sorry if I was too forward or offended you in any way. And sometimes I'll put a heart, sometimes I'll put that like emoji of like, it just depends on however I'm feeling that day. But 99% of the time people respond back and go, oh my gosh, like, no, like this and this happened, and I'm so sorry, give me more information. Or, oh my gosh, so-and-so happened, I'm so sorry. No, I'm just not interested right now. And so with those not right nows, I completely derail the invite altogether. And I say, no problem. That is like, thank you for being so warm and kind and getting back to me. I saw you did this. Tell me more about this. And completely just derail like that we had talked anything about an invite, and just change the conversation. So it takes the pressure off of like, oh gosh, like they said no, like what do I do? Just find something else to talk about and move on from it. Come back a month later, invite them again. And that's just the constant cycle. In my 3 years, in the like, gosh, I wonder how many invites I've sent out. Let's just say like, I don't know, we'll just say thousands. I've had 3 people be nasty. Like that ratio is so small, that does not matter. Like there are mean people out there, but genuinely people are nice, and they're going to admire that hustle and that like genuine, like, oh, I'm sorry. Like if I offended you for inviting you, I just love, this, and I just want to share it. People people have hearts. People are nice. Like there are nasty people, but stop thinking that everyone's nasty and everyone doesn't like you and everyone is so mean and they are annoyed by you. Like people are nice. So just remember that when you go to these follow-ups or even these invites, like people don't care. Like it's okay. Stop worrying about the 3 people out of my thousands of people that were mean. Like people are nice. So just remember that. So fortune in the follow-up. Don't ever forget to follow up with somebody. My next bullet point is make things happen ASAP. And what I mean by that is, so I was a part of a Norwex party this week, and she was doing like all these trainings Monday through Friday of like all these products, all these things. Like I told it was my neighbor that hosted the party because I was ready to buy that mop on like Monday. Like, I'm like, I need this mop. Like, how can I get it? She's like, well, I think I might actually host a party. I'm like, cool. Like, and so Monday I wanted to order it. And she was like, well, I don't think she's going to open up the link until Friday. So this is what I'm getting at. By Friday, I had thought through it. I had thought, I really want that, but I started talking myself out of it. I started thinking, you know, I'll just get down on my hands and knees. Like, I don't really need to spend $100 on a mop. Like, I don't really need that. That is how I look at every person I'm talking to, is when they say, yes, give me more info, or yes, I want to sign up. Like, you know, maybe some of you won't agree with me on this, and I don't get to it. Sometimes I don't get to it because I am like sleeping, or I don't know. Sometimes there are things that happen, but I try to make that transaction happen ASAP, because people change their minds really fast, and you want to get them as soon as they're ready. Because like I said, I did order it because it's my neighbor and I support her and stuff. And I really want a new system to mop my floors, but I really lost interest. And so when you delay that, like, yeah, send me more info, or that initial invite, when you delay that too long, that interest goes away. So just make sure you are staying on top of like who is coming back into your inboxes, whether it's like late at night or first thing in the morning. Because if they say, hey, send me more info at like 9 o'clock at night, I've done this and I've gotten bit in the butt several times, is like at 9 o'clock, I see it. I don't open it so then I don't forget about it, but I say, hey, yeah, send me more info. I don't get to it until the morning. They have to work all day. So we're sitting at like 24 hours later, and then they've lost interest. So it's just, people are quick to make decisions. Kelly, you're an impulse buyer. She was my impulse coach, but she was just like, it was just make things happen as best as you can, and trying to stay on top of things as best as you can. This is all okay. I have 2 more points, guys. I'm doing pretty good. I thought I was going to talk until like 9:45, so I'm doing good. Okay. I've done this type of call and talked about this a bajillion times. So some of you have heard this, but retention. And I'm not talking, I mean, I am kind of talking about the retention that Beachbody is doing right now, but not really. So when I say retention, what I mean by that is investing in those that invest in you. So I was crazy when I first started coaching and running my own groups and getting some people underneath me. I was psycho. Like, I was texting them every single day. Like, how was your workout today? Like, what did you think of the shake? What did you think of this? Like, almost over the top. Like, I wouldn't suggest that unless you have a couple of people, because then it is fun to stay on top of each other and keep the conversation flowing and whatnot. But like over time that moved to like 1 week to 1 month. But what I mean by retention is like, I'm hitting good SC numbers, but some of those are the people that are from the year before and the year before that, because they come up on their yearly renewal and they go, you've been so great. Like, yes, I want to do another year. Like, I've taken not thousands of hours to like pour back into them, but taking it one step further and taking conversations outside of the challenge group. Because some people, they see it, but they don't interact. It's everyone's different, but taking it one step further and pulling them into a one-on-one message and just like talking with them about like, how are things going? How can I help? How can I best serve you? You know, and taking that a step further, because that's when they can really like trust you and really feel like they got their value out of like signing up with you. And like when I got into Beachbody, like I had no idea like what coaches were and like how many coaches were out there. I want them to know when they get into this and they start seeing like, oh, wow, this is a big business. And wow, there's a lot of other coaches. I want them to feel like I made the best decision by signing up with Cassy, because she provides the challenge group stuff, but she takes it one step further and like talks to me outside of that and makes me feel like somebody and not just a number. I know this is a numbers game. I get it. But you have to like not look at it that way, because when you look at somebody as a number, it takes away from the whole purpose of this business. Like this business is so cool. And I know you guys know that. And I know you're here tonight because you know that, but we get to genuinely change people's lives and like make them feel happy. And then in turn, that makes us happy. And like, it's a full circle thing. So just take that one step further. And like I said, don't be crazy like I was. But, you know, when you first sign somebody up, I try to check in with them at least once to twice their first couple weeks, just because they're brand new and still trying to navigate it. And then, you know, you can space it out a little bit more just so you're not taking all that extra time away from mom life or whatever it is. But just, like I said, I've always preached this, is just invest in those that invest in you. And then my last bullet point is keep the momentum going. So you guys know this, when you are very consistent in, let's just use workouts for an example. Let's not even talk the business right now, but workouts. When you are consistent with your workouts and working out Monday through Friday, you skip Saturday, you stayed up too late, like no big deal. Sunday rolls around, I might do it, might not. By the time Monday comes around, you're going, okay, gotta kind of put myself back up to like do this again. I look at the business the same way. When I slip just a little bit, when I don't send those 5 invites or those, 30 new ads, when I slip, like today, like I slipped, guys, this weekend. I did the bare minimum this weekend and I'm paying for it now because I lost that momentum. Now I have to I was here, I was steady and I dropped, and now I have to work really hard to get that momentum going again to get back into, okay, how do I do this? How do I find people? How do I invite? When you just kind of keep that ball rolling, it doesn't have to be crazy amounts, but just keep it going just a little bit every single day, because that just makes it easier. And you don't get that overwhelming of where do I start? How do I do this? So yeah, that was my last bullet point and my last takeaway. Just do a little bit every single day. That second part, the part that's going to make your business grow, and just keep that ball just slowly rolling. So that's all I had. So if you guys have questions, please unmute yourselves and ask. I can scroll through the comments too. So, whew.
Cassy, thank you so much. I love your hydro jug. It's so cute. I was gonna ask, do you add people on Facebook, or do you just add people on Instagram? Is that your main kind of source of? I'm just
curious. So Instagram hashtags for sure, but Facebook, I guess I haven't navigated Facebook as much, but that's more just suggested people that I like to follow a lot, and I'll get in friends of pages. But yeah, I try to do both. It's more heavy Instagram. I don't know why, that's something that I could definitely change. And that's the cool thing about this business. You can constantly just try new things, and there's so much out there, and just kind of figure it out as you go. But yeah, I mainly heavy Instagram, but definitely do at least 5 a day on Facebook. But then for whatever reason, they'll follow me back, and then I'll see maybe they are a Beachbody coach or something in that matter, and then I'll unfollow just so it kind of clears some of that out. And so yeah, do both. Oh, let's see.
Any other questions for Cassy? You guys, she's already at SC12 for the month of June, by the way. Pretty darn amazing. Did you see that one Sarah just put in the comments, Cassy?
No. Okay, hold on. Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
Yeah, that coming out post. Brooke has that good, it's in her file section, but Honestly, the best suggestion I have for coming out is do not say Beachbody, do not say Energize, do not say Shakeology, because I mean, when I would see that, like, I love this business now, but when I would see Beachbody, I'm like, ugh, like, okay, she's doing that thing. Like, I was that person. And so I think of everyone else that way. And so just don't sit. I would love to show you guys mine. Because I did put Beachbody in it right away. And my husband was actually the one like, take that out. But yeah, just don't, you want them to dig a little bit. You want them to wonder what it is. Like, it could be anything. Like, they could be thinking like, maybe she's opened up her own shop, or maybe she's like joining the gym, or like, but when you put Beachbody in there, you take away that like curiosity for people to like wonder what you're doing. So don't take that away from them. Let them come to you. So yeah, just don't put any names of anything in it. Just health and wellness, health and fitness journey, or starting a new program. Yeah, Brooks, like I said, Brooks got, I don't know if it's in your files or your units section, or if it's
post it like every 2 weeks in our team page of, I can tag you in it.
Yeah.
But basically it's just sharing your story of, and your why of like why you're doing this. But yes, don't, because then people just go and Google Beachbody and be like, oh, she just does that, instead of actually coming to you and being like, oh, what are you doing? I am interested. I need to get healthy. And then explaining your reason.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for Cassy? We wrap it up. So good. Nothing.
I've had
All right, she covered it all. Success Club hitting machines. No, but again, I think like it is a learned skill, and it's not something that just you post a picture and it happens. Like, people don't come to you. I loved your point of like, the front work of this business is pointless if you're not doing any of the back work of inviting and connecting and just being like social on social media. So thank you so much, Cassy, for sharing your heart tonight and your time and your tips. And I will make sure to post this recording in the team page. And let's have a great rockin' week of June, you guys. So thanks for jumping on. See ya.